The Queen urged world leaders to earn a place in history and answer the call of those future generations in an impassioned speech to representatives at the COP26 summit tonight. Her Majesty, who was forced to miss the conference after her overnight stay in hospital last month, told leaders via video to rise above the politics of the moment and achieve true statesmanship as government representatives attended the reception for the 26th United Nations Climate Change Conference in Glasgow. She went on to say that none of us will live forever and we are doing this not for ourselves but for our children and our children's children, and those who will follow in their footsteps, as she urged leaders to reach decisive COP climate change deals. The Queen's stern intervention, which was displayed on screens during a VVIP reception at Glasgow's Kelvin Grove Museum, came hours after the Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi pledged that India will target net zero carbon emissions by 2070, 2 decades later than the targets for the conference, disappointing many delegates. It also comes after Boris Johnson kicked off the climate change summit by exhorting world leaders to back up their talk on climate change with action, warning it was 1 minute to midnight. The PM used his speech at the opening of the summit as a rallying cry to try to build momentum as he welcomed foreign leaders to Glasgow after securing only lukewarm climate commitments at the G20 summit in Rome over the weekend. Meanwhile, Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary-General, today accused countries of treating nature like a toilet as he warned of a looming climate catastrophe.
Thank you, Prime Minister Holness, for your kind words of introduction. I'm delighted to welcome you all to the 26th United Nations Climate Change Conference. And it is perhaps fitting that you have come together in Glasgow, once a heartland of the Industrial Revolution, but now a place to address climate change. This is a duty I'm especially happy to discharge, as the impact of the environment on human progress was a subject close to the heart of my dear late husband, Prince Philip, the Duke of Edinburgh. I remember well that in 1969 he told an academic gathering, "If the world pollution situation is not critical at the moment, it is as certain as anything can be that the situation will become increasingly intolerable within a very short time. If we fail to cope with this challenge, all the other problems will pale into insignificance." It is a source of great pride to me that the leading role my husband played in encouraging people to protect our fragile planet lives on through the work of our eldest son, Charles, and his eldest son, William. I could not be more proud of them. Indeed, I have drawn great comfort and inspiration from the relentless enthusiasm of people of all ages, especially the young, in calling for everyone to play their part. In the coming days, the world has the chance to join in the shared objective of creating a safer, stabler future for our people and for the planet on which we depend. None of us underestimates the challenges ahead, but history has shown that when nations come together in common cause, there is always room for hope. Working side by side, we have the ability to solve the most insurmountable problems and to triumph over the greatest of adversities. For more than 70 years, I have been lucky to meet and to know many of the world's great leaders. And I have perhaps come to understand a little about what made them special. It has sometimes been observed that what leaders do for their people today is government and politics. But what they do for the people of tomorrow, that is statesmanship. I, for one, hope that this conference will be one of those rare occasions where everyone will have the chance to rise above the politics of the moment and achieve true statesmanship. It is the hope of many that the legacy of this summit, written in history books yet to be printed, will describe you as the leaders who did not pass up the opportunity, and that you answered the call of those future generations. that you left this conference as a community of nations with a determination, a desire, and a plan to address the impact of climate change, and to recognize that the time for words has now moved to the time for action. Of course, the benefits of such actions will not be there to enjoy for all of us here today. None of us will live forever. But we are doing this not for ourselves, but for our children and our children's children, and those who will follow in their footsteps. And so I wish you every good fortune in this significant endeavor.